Hello everyone, welcome to this session. In this session, we are going to discuss on tuples. Tuples is one of the collection types what we have, and a tuple is ordered immutable collection of elements which can hold different data type values. And tuples are defined by parentheses, and the elements within the tuples are separated by commas. Okay, so let us see an example of a tuple. So let us consider these two dates 0202 2023 and 0302 2023. Okay, and now let me print these values. You can see the values are printed within the parentheses. If I take only one value, it is printed without parentheses, meaning that this is a string. So we can check that as well. The type of date variable. Okay, so it is a string here. Now if I produce the other value also, now you can see it is a tuple. So please remember that when you want to use a tuple, the value should not be a single value. Okay, at least two values are required in a tuple. So I can have anything here as well. Now you can clearly observe it executes. Okay, so now let us look at another example where we have stored a person's details in a tuple. Okay, as a tuple is immutable collection of elements, once the values are stored they cannot be altered. Because of this property, important informations we can store in tuples, or the information which we don't want anyone else to alter, we will store in the tuple. So a person named Surya Kumar, age 32 and gender male, has been stored in the variable person. Likewise, we can store coordinate values. We can also store mixed values in a tuple. So here this tuple contains an integer, a string, and a list and a boolean value. So multiple data types and collections it can have. Okay, so let us see whether it executes or not. Yes, it is executing. Let me print person. So you can see person is printed. Similarly, I can print coordinates and then mixed. Okay, so this is how we can use the tuples. So as I have already indicated, there are some important things to know about tuple. The tuples are similar to list, but unlike lists, once created you cannot modify the elements of a tuple, whereas you can access elements using indexed operator, that is square bracket, and perform operations like concatenation, repetition, and membership test. Other than this, the slicing operations also you can perform. But you cannot append or you cannot remove values from the tuple. Okay, so that is the importance of tuple. Now let us learn another thing about tuple, that is unpacking a tuple. When we assign number of variables to a tuple, then we can actually unpack the tuple. name, age, gender. In person, we had three elements: Surya Kumar, 32, and male. For these three elements, we have set three different variables. Okay, and this kind of process is called as unpacking of tuple. So now let us print this, and you can see that we are able to print a name, age, and gender. Okay, if you want to separate it by a comma, you can use that as well. Okay, now we can concatenate two tuples. Here I have taken x1 and y1, two values separated by comma. That means x1 will be stored with value 2 and y1 will be stored with value 5. Similarly, x2, y2 are stored with 4 and 6. Now using parenthesis and the addition operator, we are combining two tuples. First we are creating a tuple here and creating a tuple here, and then we are adding. By this method we are actually, give me a second, we are going to actually create a tuple which is combination of 2 5 and 4 6. Okay, as we have already talked, we can perform concatenation, repetition, and membership test on the tuples. So concatenation we have done. Now repetition, in this, as we have seen in the lists, we can multiply. So in this coordinates, what we have defined is 1 and 2. As you can see here, coordinates is a tuple with 1 and 2 values. This 1 and 2 is repeated thrice. Okay, and checking if an element is in tuple, for that we have similar condition in lists also, right? So 2.0 in coordinates, this will be true if 2 is there in the coordinates. Okay, it's there, so it is giving as true. If it's not there, you can see 2.1 I am checking, which is not there in the coordinates. That's why it's producing an output as false. Okay, tuples are commonly used in Python for tasks that require a collection of elements, but where the element should not be changed once set. Okay, this one has to keep in mind. And then tuple can be used to represent coordinates, dates, person's name, age, and other details which are not going to change over the time. Correct? So these are the examples what we can have for tuples. And tuples can also be used as keys in dictionaries, while list cannot be used as keys since they are mutable. Lists we can change, right? We can use append, pop, remove, all these kinds of method on lists, which is not possible on the tuples. And tuples are also more memory efficient and faster than lists, making them suitable for certain performance critical applications. This is the another aspect of tuples. Okay, so that's all for this lecture. In the next lecture of tuples, we'll understand slicing in tuples. Okay.